Hi everyone. Welcome to our first episode on clicks and codes. And today I'm going to be your host. My name is Folashayo Oke. I am three times Salesforce certified. I'm a core three graduate of the ALX Salesforce training program. And today's episode is actually very special because we are celebrating International Women's Month. You know already that March 8th is for women, and I brought to you an incredible guest all the way from Zimbabwe. We had to cross like seven seas, seven mountains. We had to bring the best of the best for this particular episode. My guest is 8 times certified, Salesforce certified, right? If you think Salesforce in Africa, you think about this powerful woman, right? Who is she? She currently works at Learning Labs and Flash Academy. She is currently a nominated MVP for Salesforce class of 2025. That's a big deal, right? I like to call her the most valuable player anywhere and everywhere. She's almost everyone's, most sought after. She's a mentor to people. She's a great mentee as well, and a very good addition to our Salesforce community and ecosystem here in Africa. And then I'm just going to pass the mic. Please join me and welcome Jennifer Ndlovu, aka Woman in Tech. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Fola. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Good, thank you. Hope you're doing
Yeah.
well.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's so great to have you here. I mean, it's also very great personally for me doing this with you as well. But before we dive into today's conversation, could you let our listeners know a little bit about your background or your journey into tech? Was it always tech for you? Did you start with tech, or did you have a different background and then you pivoted into tech? We would like to know. Please go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. So I come from a non-tech background and I got into this ecosystem 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm 2 years old into Salesforce. Prior to that, I have a marketing background, a degree in marketing from one of the best universities in Zimbabwe, which unfortunately I never got to use. And I landed myself a role as a cleaner at a local hospital in 2020, right at the brink of COVID. And followed by, so 3 months down the line, I got a job as a driver for a nonprofit organization. So I was a driver for 2 years. And as a driver, I was working away from home, about 200 kilometers away from home, and I would travel home every weekend to see my family. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. It wasn't sustainable for me until I got introduced to Salesforce on the 5th of May, 2022. So when I got introduced to it, I didn't act on it because I didn't know how to navigate my way around the ecosystem. It was very difficult for me, and as a result, I found myself getting falling in love with LinkedIn because that's where I discovered most Salesforce professionals were. And you would know that LinkedIn is not a favorite. Okay, it's not so popular here in Africa. We love the TikToks, we love the Facebooks. But now I discovered LinkedIn and I got to grow my network in LinkedIn. And I eventually found my way to starting my career in Salesforce. That was on the 26th of July 2022. 1 month down the line, on the 26th of August 2022, I got my first certification. So that involved lots of hard work, putting in long hours just to study. And at that time, my degree ended. Sorry, my project ended where I was working. Now I was jobless and I was back home. I had so much time to study. I would study so hard, like for the month of September. October, I was my confidence kept on growing in
Yeah.
LinkedIn, in my network. I was just growing my network. And I found people coming to me to ask for mentorship because I made LinkedIn my Salesforce diary. So everything I would diarize, my journey, I would diarize it on LinkedIn. So people would come to me to say, we've been following your journey. I've been following your journey. I wonder how you're making it in the space. And as a result, I landed my first role in Salesforce. By the way, I didn't apply for that role. I was approached on LinkedIn, a remote role, international one.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of great things for me in Salesforce. Yeah, maybe I can put a full stop here and then you can ask further.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And like what you said is so inspiring. You know how for some of us, or for many of us, right, you would have stumbled upon tech, and then for other people, it was a very intentional progress for us, or something that you needed to do just to get to the next phase of your life. And I'll just, share a little bit about my background as well. So I have a background in pharmacology. I had always thought that one of these days I'm going to find the cure to HIV or AIDS, right? I'm going to be that scientist that will find the cure to cancer and all of that. Then I said, okay, why not? Let me pursue my master's. And it was at the point of pursuing my master's, I knew that okay, I needed a source of living, source of income as well. And that was how I pivoted into tech because it was the only thing that I could do remotely, work from home, start to get money and then still pursue my master's. But along the way, right, I kind of like fell in love with Salesforce because it felt like something that I didn't know before, right? And one thing about Salesforce is whether you are a say, software developer or a business analyst or a data analyst or whatever it is that you think you can do, right? You can also apply it in Salesforce. So it's not limited
Yes.
to there's just a tech skills that you need to, a set of skills that you need to have. So once you can have like any other tech skills, you can still come into that niche and still practice. And I think that's one beautiful thing about it. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Um, we also know that it's not easy, right? It's been in this tech space, especially as women, must have faced a couple of challenges trying to fit in or trying to pursue your dream career. I don't know if you personally have similar challenges or other challenges that you probably went through, right? I feel like if we could hear a little bit about your story, any challenge that you could highlight for anybody listening out there, right? I think it would empower the community as well.
First of all, the challenge that I faced was trying to balance up being a mother, being a wife, and trying to build my career in Salesforce. Sometimes you find out that when you have started your career in Salesforce, you need to put in lots of work. So there are long hours where you need to study and everything. So trying to balance it up is very difficult, especially if because you don't want your family to feel like you're not prioritizing uh, whatever career you're into rather than spending time with them. So that was the first
Yeah.
challenge that I had. It was within me. Of course my family didn't mind, but personally I felt like I wasn't giving them so much time. That
Mm.
was challenge number one, handling burnout, because you just feel overwhelmed. The journey can be so frustrating at times. You can study for a certification, you fail it, you feel like you are, sometimes you just feel like giving up, but you can't give up. You need to shake off the dust and try again. So that was challenge number two. Challenge number three was actually navigating my way in the ecosystem. Because remember, there were limited trailblazers at that time here in Africa. So
Yeah.
trying to hear people's stories, success stories, was a bit difficult because they were close to none when I began my journey. So most of the success stories were out of Africa. And then there is that mindset now to say,
Mhm.
if okay, the success stories that we are getting are from international other countries, and I'm not getting any in Africa. What does this mean to have a career in Africa as a woman or as a Black woman, rather? So that was one challenge that I had. And at that time, I did not have confidence. I was afraid of reaching out But I discovered, no, you know what? In order for me to be successful, I need to reach out. I need people to help me. And if it's the international people that are there in the ecosystem, then it means I need to knock on those doors. So
Yeah.
building confidence, coming out of that syndrome to say, that inferiority complex to say, can I do this? Will I be welcomed? And you know what? When I started approaching people, I discovered, wow, this is a wonderful ecosystem. There are so many loving people in this ecosystem, people who are willing to help. And that's how I managed to navigate my way in this ecosystem. Then another challenge, of course, was certification vouchers. You need to be, as you're learning, you want to get the certifications, but now the pricing was very difficult. $200 is a lot of money here in Africa. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So I had I'm grateful to my husband who used to support me, and he would make sure that I write the certifications that I needed. And again, in the ecosystem, there are opportunities to get free certification vouchers. There are these boot
Yeah.
camps, there are the likes of ALX that will come up and will train you and will actually pay for your certification. So people who are in the ecosystem now are very much privileged because they're getting all these resources. One other challenge that I faced personally was in my country, there's load shedding, like electricity problems. So, you're trying to study, then boom, electricity just switches off. What next? So now we have to start looking for ways to improvise, ways to get, to have another provision. If
Yeah.
electricity goes, what do I use? So now I'm solar powered. I managed to get rid of that challenge. The other challenge is of network connectivity and the cost of internet here in Africa.
Mhm.
It's a big challenge, to be honest. Some people cannot afford buying data for a month, for 1 week, right? And you find out that most of the learning that we do in Salesforce is online. So if you don't have data, that means you have a challenge. If you don't have good internet, you can't write an exam.
Yeah.
So that is one big challenge that I faced as well. Until, okay, I've got the role, my first role in Salesforce, and now I could manage to actually buy unlimited data, but it's gold here in Zimbabwe. It's gold in most parts of Africa, that much I know. So yeah, those are some of the challenges that I faced, but above all, it's all about trying to being innovative in order to break through the barriers. That is what that's why we talk about women empowerment. We talk about empowerment here
Yeah.
as in tech. We need that empowering once in a while here in Africa. So yeah, that's me on
Mhm.
that one.
Wow. That's a whole lot of challenges. I mean, I think that another maybe major challenge that we are not even talking about a lot as women, if we are being honest, is also women actually believing in themselves. Because if you,
Yes.
Jennifer, did not believe in yourself, I don't think you would have been able to overcome all of these orders, right? You would have probably just given and said, nothing is working. Let me just give up. There's no point, right?
Yes.
So most times women just have this mindset that okay, maybe it's not in my place. And maybe I don't need to be that great. Maybe I just need to just stay with my child and just breastfeed or take care of the family. But I think we women we need to push more, push further, believe in ourselves, be our own biggest cheerleader, love ourselves, and then from there on, maybe we can support ourselves and then just achieve everything that we dream to achieve and hope to achieve. Thank you for that. So